What's up, gang? It's been a little while since I did one of these, so kind of long overdue. So I brought my Les Paul with me and a little amp and on this trip, and I'm just kind of trying to feel what kind of mood I'm in. So I actually got my tone dialed in for some Wes Montgomery stuff. Wes was a jazz player back in the 60s. He died pretty young, unfortunately. He was to me, he was like the B.B. King of jazz guitar. And he had a unique style. He played these fat jazz guitars with a real thick body, like ES 137s or something like that, maybe 175s. They had a real fat body, and they just had this beautiful, like deep, woody, resonant tone. And he played these brushed octaves, which is really beautiful. So the melodies he would play in his songs were sort of emulating a voice, you know, that might have been singing the song. And he would do this thing where he would play these brushed octaves. So I'm just going to break down what a brushed octave looks like. And before I do that, let's talk about some influences, or who Wes influenced that we might know in our generation. Jimi Hendrix was influenced by Wes. Jimmy used some of the brush octave techniques in some of his music. Stevie Ray Vaughan definitely used some. The song Stang's Swang comes to mind when I think of Stevie Ray Vaughan stuff. It's a real upbeat jazz piece. His band Double Trouble really just killed it with the jazz vibe. They had it going on, and it allowed Stevie just to open up and do what he did, but he threw some of that West stuff in there. It's really cool. And another guy that a lot of people don't realize is Steve Vai. He did a song on his Passion and Warfare album called Sisters. And if you listen to that song, you'll hear some of this Wes Montgomery brushed octave technique. And I'll play a little piece from that song for you. So what you're really trying to do here is you're playing two notes, but they're the same note. One is just an octave higher. So let's just go to the B, which is gonna be top string, 7th fret. Now, what I want to do is I want to find one octave above that and strike that note as well. So I'm going to go here on the D string at the 9th fret. So all right, so that is the octave. So what Wes would do, he never played with a pick. He actually his thumb hit every note, I swear. It was ridiculous. So he would brush kind of gently the skin of his thumb across the strings to get this effect. So you can hear that. It's a very soft percussive effect as opposed to using a pick, where you're going to get more of a punchy kind of attack. Wes wanted to give you like a softer attack on the notes. And he would get that kind of feel, and I really love it. And so I want to talk about the Steve Vai song Sisters. It was basically done on his Ibanez, one of his gem guitars, obviously. It was played clean, no overdrive. Anyway, that's kind of the intro, but then it would go into this one part where there'd be a pause, and then he does this. It's like... So Steve Vai was definitely paying homage to the great Wes Montgomery with that. And of course, Wes's tone was a lot fatter and woodier with that old Gibson that he was playing, that jazz box. Steve playing on a thin body electric guitar was not going to get that kind of sound, but what he did get off that was really cool. I mean, his technique with the brush. And one other thing that you do is you may slide into the note. So with this soft onset of the thumb, and then sliding into the note, it's just really a cool effect. Oh, and another great player today that used Wes's style, Eric Johnson, especially on his tribute to Wes called East to West. It's like... It's kind of hard to do on this guitar. So Eric did that too, and a lot of other players have also followed behind and listened to Wes and incorporated some of those brushed octaves into their playing. So it's a cool technique. So like I said, you're playing two notes. They're the same note, but one is the octave higher. So there's two notes, the low and then the high. When you're brushing the thumb across that, you're using the skin of the thumb, not the nail, because the nail will give a sharper attack. Now the trick to this is you're playing on two different strings, but they're two strings apart from each other. So there's a string in the middle that's not being played. So the key with that is that you have to take the skin of this finger and touch that string barely, just so that it's muted. Like such. And so you mute the string in between. So you can keep it clean. You only want to hear the two notes. You don't want to hear any of the noise in between. So the muting is really a critical technique here. Well, there I'm using the skin of two fingers, so I don't have to necessarily worry too much about muting that one in between with the left hand. But that's not the same as... So there you have it. That's Wes Montgomery kind of in a nutshell. I mean, that's minus the chords that he did. But that was just the brushed octave technique that I wanted to really kind of touch base on. So I hope you like it. Listen to some of the artists I was talking about. And you can hear the influence of Wes Montgomery on those players. It was Stevie Ray Vaughan, Eric Johnson, Steve Vai, Jimi Hendrix. I mean, four guys that really stand out to me that use that. So anyway, hope you guys enjoy the video.